If you're thinking about moving to Charlotte and you're stuck between Marvin and Weddington, that's what we like to call a little bit of a good problem. And these two places in Union County seem to show up on a lot of people's lists of best places to live in North Carolina. And picking between them is kind of like choosing your favorite kid. So today we're going to walk you through what makes each one of these places so special. We'll talk about the schools that has everybody buzzing, and we're going to take a look at the housing market in each one of these places as well. So let's get into it. Before we dive into details on each spot, let's start with a big picture look. When you put Marvin and Weddington next to each other, you're looking at two places that have it figured out on how to do suburban living right. First, what matters to a lot of families? Well, it's schools, because that's where we send our kids to shape their futures. First, let's start with Union County Public Schools, because that's the district. With state averages at 50 and 51% for both math and reading proficiency, Union County Public Schools ranked well above those numbers at 70% in math and 64% in reading. Now let's look at the high schools. First of all, let's start with Marvin Ridge, which features an international baccalaureate program which drives a lot of people to the school, and it achieves a 93% math proficiency score and a 91% reading proficiency score, and has a graduation rate of 98%, which is in the top 1% in all of North Carolina. These numbers represent nearly double the achievement of a race you'll find in most American schools. And then there's Weddington High School with a 94% math proficiency and a 93% reading proficiency with a 97% graduation rate. These graduation rates mean that almost every student that starts here finishes with a diploma in hand. And with state averages at 51% math and 50% reading proficiency, your children will be surrounded by peers that perform at nearly twice the level of the state averages. And outside the classroom, both communities have built strong sports programs that regularly turn out state championships and students who go on to participate in sports in college. So here's an athletic comparison between the two schools. First of all, Marvin Ridge has multiple North Carolina High School Athletic Association state championships across sports, including basketball, football, soccer, swimming, tennis, and there's more. And there's evidence of a culture of excellence that extends far beyond the classroom. And then we move over to Weddington, which has comprehensive sports programs across all major sports. And while they may not have as many state titles as Marvin Ridge, their teams consistently compete at the highest levels and produce college athletes every year, and they have won multiple state championships in several sports. Now let's look at how each town keeps its vibe safe by using smart land use rules. First of all, the lot size requirements that both of these communities exhibit preserve rural character. Marvin has a minimum lot size of about 0.8 acres, and Weddington has a minimum lot size of a full acre. Both of these towns have small, flexible governments that can jump in fast when residents need something or have concerns. Marvin utilizes a council-manager form of government led by a mayor and a 6-member village council, and Christina Amos is the current manager, and she's been in that role since 2018, while Weddington has a mayor-council form of government where there's not an actual manager, and the mayor and the council acting together make decisions about services, revenues, and expenditures, and all personnel come under the board. Both communities have done a great job of growth management through strategic planning and community engagement, and both these communities have also rejected the sprawl model in favor of thoughtful development that preserves character. All right, so let's get into what makes each one of these places stand out. But before we jump in, if we haven't met, I'm Jay White, your go-to real estate agent here in the Charlotte area. And if you're serious about making the right move, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I cover everything from popular sports to growing areas, and you'll get insider tips and a lot more, so don't miss out. Marvin shows you what happens when a community puts exclusivity and top-rated schools first. But as we'll see, that focus brings some big benefits along with a few surprises that you might not expect. First, let's get clear on who lives in Marvin and why that matters for your investment and lifestyle. The demographics tell that story. 7,085 residents call Marvin home with a 1.96% annual growth rate. This controlled growth ensures that infrastructure keeps pace with population while maintaining a community character. Marvin's also not all that large. It's about 6 square miles with 1,062 people per square mile density. Despite the density being higher than Weddington, the village feel remains intact intact due to pretty thoughtful planning, and income levels here are outrageous. Average household income in Marvin is $274,000 and the median income is about $250,000. These numbers place Marvin among the most affluent areas in the entire Southeast United States. And I mentioned the International Baccalaureate program at Marvin Ridge, and that's one of the things that Marvin really stands out for and why families are ready to pay more to live here. The International Baccalaureate program at Marvin Ridge is the only IB diploma program in Union County, an IB world school since 2008. Getting this designation requires years of preparation and ongoing compliance with rigorous international standards. Grades 9 through 10 have an international pathway program, and grades 11 through 12 offer the full IB program. This progression ensures that students are properly prepared for the demanding upper-level coursework. Some of the coursework includes mathematical applications, business management, chemistry and physics, theory of knowledge, Spanish literature, Chinese, visual arts, music. The breadth rivals private elite schools. And Marvin already has amenities that other communities are still working on, so residents get to enjoy great recreation right away. Marvin Efred Park is a 27-acre centerpiece. It's a one-of-a-kind redwood playground, 9-hole disc golf course, meadow, and groomed walking trails. The community garden offers 32 raised beds with a waiting list, and there's a picnic area and barn shelter that hosts annual events drawing about 500 residents. It offers movie nights, national night outs, and holiday tree lighting. And if you like what Marvin offers, just wait, because you're going to see what Weddington has coming up soon. So now let's talk numbers, what you'll pay and what kind of return you expect to have on your investment. The Marvin housing market is pretty competitive. As of July 2025, the median sale price of a home is about $1.4 million, and the median home prices have gone up about 24% compared to last year. Now, on average, homes in Marvin sell in about 40 days on the market, but that's compared to 9 days from last year, so that's gone up considerably. And there were 39 homes sold this July, down from 42% from last July. Now, what if you could get that same kind of luxury, but at a little bit lower price? That's what Weddington is promising, and their big growth plans could change the game. Weddington gives you the chance to get in early on a community that's ready to change, while still keeping what makes it great: bigger lots, lower prices, and bold plans that could shake up Charlotte's luxury market. Let's start by looking at how Weddington manages to grow while still keeping its country feel. The demographics show strategic expansion with about 14,629 residents and a 1.92% annual growth rate. Now, Weddington is a little bit bigger at 17.53 square miles, and the larger geographic footprint allows for more growth without the density pressures that create traffic issues. In Weddington, there's 768 people per square mile. This lower density immediately gets noticeable when you drive through Weddington. There's more space between homes and more pasture feel to it. Income levels that definitely support luxury living are here, though. Median household income is just about $200,000, and the average household income is $245,000. While lower than Marvin's numbers, these numbers still place Weddington well above national luxury thresholds and support premium home values. Now, this is where being honest about what's not perfect shows you the amazing chance still waiting ahead. Currently, only about 3% of residents are within a 10-mile walk of a park versus a 57% national average. This gap represents the biggest opportunity for value creation in the coming years, and Weddington has a planned town center development that is addressing these gaps. It's going to offer 5.43 acres of a town park with expansive grass lawn, small performance stage, and playground equipment. This park will be larger than most private country club amenities and accessible to all residents. To enhance that town center feel, it's going to have a decorative fountain, enhanced streetscaping, a new main street with wide sidewalks, shade trees, and on-street parking. And this will create a true town center that currently doesn't exist really anywhere in Union County. And Weddington does have a lot of outdoor spaces, even if they're a short drive. While most of these are not available at walking distance, Colonel Beatty Park, Dogwood Park, these facilities are well maintained and require about a 10 to 15 mile from most places in Weddington. And and the Wesley Chapel Weddington Athletic Association facilities at Optimus Park are 52 acres of multiple sports fields and a basketball court that really rival anything around, but just aren't super convenient. When we talk about real estate, this is where the numbers show a clear story about why Weddington is a great place to invest. The Weddington housing market is very competitive, and the median home sale price in Weddington is about $1.2 million, which is up 4.4% from last year. The median sale price per square foot in Weddington is $307 per square foot. Now that's up 5.9% since last year. What's interesting is land use strategy, which creates the scarcity. The single-family homes are on 1 acre lots, and only 27 of 11,000 acres are zoned commercial. This extreme scarcity of commercial zoning ensures residential character doesn't get compromised, and the scarcity model provides a ton of stability in property values. With so little land available for development, existing homes will maintain their value through supply constraints. But traffic and infrastructure is where Weddington's bigger size really helps make daily life better. It has some traffic advantages through better infrastructure. Because it has a larger geographic footprint, traffic can distribute more effectively. There's multiple routes to and from major highways, meaning that no single roadway becomes a bottleneck like in Marvin. Less congestion during peak hours makes commuting to Charlotte more predictable and a little less stressful. So with all this to think about, how do you choose between two communities that are truly best in class as far as Charlotte's suburbs go? Well, it comes down to what matters to you most and how you want to live. When you compare these two communities, the differences are pretty small. And the bottom line is you can't go wrong with either Marvin or Weddington. If you're ready to check out homes in these communities, or you want to talk about the market and how it might affect your choice, email us at info@jwhitegroup.com to get started today. And I'll help you find off-market properties and guide you through busy markets in both areas. And if this comparison really helps you, stick around because I've got another video right here. In it, I rank every Charlotte suburbs, and things get pretty wild. Trust me, you won't want to miss the rankings, and some of them will surprise you. Thanks for watching so much, and we'll see you next time.